Guys, as you can imagine, it's been really hard for me to come and do a blog about the Arsenal-Man City game. But I want you to go and look at the video I did yesterday in the ground just before the game started, okay? Because that's the one. I'd already done a prediction on who I thought the team was going to be, but the one I want you to go and look at is half an hour before the game when I saw the team sheet, and I got it exactly right, didn't I? And basically, I've listened to people like Robbie on AFTV, who's, going now, oh, if there's one competition I would have been wanting to be knocked out, would it have been the Carabao Cup? What a joke to actually say that. I've heard other people blaming Kepa. I've heard other people blaming every other player in the team. I've heard other people blaming the team, etc., etc. Not many people blamed Arteta. This is, right, if you listen to that blog, this is exactly what I said half an hour, 15 minutes before the game started. And it's there, you can see it. I said, I think we're going to have problems winning this game. I said it, and I said the reasons why. And the reasons why were exactly what happened. Exactly. And if I can see it, why can't Arteta? Why? So the four proximate cause of why we didn't win yesterday, and not just why we didn't win, because City played well. Let's not take that away from them. And Pep got it right. Okay? We had the wrong setup. We had the wrong team. You can't play Trossard and Saka in the same side. That is a big pitch at Wembley. That's what I said before the game started. No speed. You got no speed up front. Saka's not Mr. Speedy. He's a good player, not Mr. Speedy. He's not playing well, but he's not Mr. Speedy. Trossard, not Mr. Speedy. So straight away, you've got nothing that's going to come in from the wings. Nothing at all. In the middle, Eze wasn't playing. Okay, understand that. Gets injured. None of us knew that beforehand. You put Havertz there. I said Havertz is not ready. He's not match fit. He's not got the energy. So straight away, you're relying on two players, Zubimendi and Rice, to do all the work. Okay, and Havertz to add a little bit of whatever he's going to add. I haven't got a clue because he's not fit. He's not ready. So straight away, our midfield was going to have a bit of a problem, and we were going to rely on our defence. And that's what was going to happen. And there was no doubt that was going to cause us problems. As soon as Pep realises, because let's face it, the first half, Arsenal actually were quite dominant. They could have gone 1-0 up, should have, but Havertz missed a sitter. The goalkeeper did well then. Let's not knock that. But Pep's already seen. He's actually understood the situation straight away. Second half, and 10 minutes before the first half finishes, City changed their tactics. They knew now that they could come forward and move more forward rather than defend. They defended more in the first 30 minutes, let us come at them. But they realised we had no outlets. We had no long balls. We couldn't do we got no speed to hurt them. So they meant they could come forward and attack us and take over the midfield as well. So more they come forward, the more their midfield can come in. Their defence could come into the midfield, as O'Reilly could, because he's not worried about trying to get back for Saka, or their fullbacks are trying to get back for Trossard, because there's no speed there to get back. So they could come into the midfield as well, take over on midfield. Havertz was dying a death after about 55 minutes. He couldn't run. And it was just onslaught after onslaught after onslaught. And my son turned round to me before they scored the goal and said, there's no doubt they're going to score here. And we were saying, you've got to get some changes on. You've got to bring at least Martinelli on to get some speed over onto that left-hand side, because he's not going to take off his loved one in Saka, okay? So get Martinelli on and get Trossard, get Havertz off. Give us something in the midfield, whoever it is, even if it's Norgard, somebody with heart and fight, and get Hincapié off, who's on a yellow card, who was being trounced by by Semenyo and by the right-hand side. It was obvious. And we were sort of, screaming for it. And of course, what happens, the inevitable happens, and they scored. Okay, big mistake from Kepa, who shouldn't have been playing. Another mistake by Arteta. But what is not understandable, okay, isn't that Arteta didn't make changes. We went 1-0 down and he still didn't make any changes. And we were like flabbergasted. What are you doing, Arteta? Make some changes. You've got to make changes because they're just they're coming through. They're just coming through. And we got no outlet. All we were doing with the defence, they had no one to give it to. They're just kicking it out because there was no one on the wings. They couldn't put long balls over the top to push City back, to give more leeway in the midfield, to put it to our midfield players because they were being pushed up by the City defence. So we were screwed, and he still didn't make the changes, and it was coming again, and then they got the second one. Oh, and glory be. Arteta then decides to make changes at 2-0 down, and he doesn't even bring Martinelli on. Yeah, he brings Madueke on, brilliant, and he brings Saka into the middle. Yeah, he's not a midfield player. What for? What's he bring Saka on for? He's tried it once, and it doesn't really work, so he's bringing on a winger, because he can't take off his loved one. I'm sorry, if you're not playing well, you've got to go off. I'm not knocking Saka in particular. It is Arteta's fault because he got the tactics so bad. And then with 10 minutes to go, he brings Martinelli on. Martinelli didn't play well, but what it did do for that last 10, 12, 30 minutes was mean that City had to now... And they were 2-0 up. They were going to defend. It didn't matter. But they now had to change their formation, go back a little bit because Arsenal could. And we actually could have possibly got one within that last 10 minutes. But City played brilliantly. Pep got his tactics right. Arteta, he got the team selection completely wrong, the tactics completely wrong, and he will not change. He will not make decisions based on what's going on in the game. And for him to turn around and say things like, I promised Kepa, you can't take Kepa off because he's played all the other games. Forget it. We have to be professional. This was about winning a cup. You play your best team. And you didn't play your best team, Arteta. Now, frankly speaking, listening to Robbie saying it's only the Carabao Cup, mate, it's a cup. Our players were looking dejected and shattered. Shattered. So, yeah, I'm upset. Arteta, I've said it before, I love you. I don't want you to go. But if you don't win the title this year, you've got to go. Because 2 seasons ago, we didn't win the league because your rotation of players, your substitutions and some of your team choices were poor. And that's why we didn't win the league 2 seasons ago. It's starting to happen again this season. And we all say, yeah, he's learning on the job. He's a great coach. I believe Arteta's a great coach. I do. I'm not sure he's a good manager. I'm not. And actually, a good manager can change things around during the game. And Arteta, I'm not sure he's good enough for that. You have to. I was saying to my son, he can't make any changes till 60 minutes is up. And you guys might find one thing here and one thing there to argue. Oh, they've scored more goals than anyone else in the Premiership, from substitutions. Statistics don't tell the facts. Statistics lie, okay? They do lie. It means nothing, okay? You can be 5-0 up, make substitutions, score 7 goals, and that means you scored more goals with your substitutions than any other team. No, he does not change. He's inflexible and his game management looks poor. He sticks to that rigid regime, okay? And at 60 minutes, he'll start making changes. And at 80 minutes, he'll start making changes. No! And I'm concerned. Football Chat Uncensored, I'm not doing a rant. This is what I said exactly this at Wembley when I saw the team. And I put it up on a blog. It was obviously going to happen. If it's obvious to me, why isn't it obvious to Arteta, who's getting paid how many £1 million a year? I don't understand his thinking. I don't. He's on dodgy ground with the fans, because I'm telling you, a lot of fans were coming out complaining about Arteta. And for none of social media, like Robbie at AFTV, not to say it was Arteta's fault, I don't get it. Ultimately, Arteta, he chose the wrong team and then didn't change didn't change the system in the second half. Happy should never have come on, should have been taken off at half time. This is a long rant. Football Chat Uncensored, but it's not a rant as such, it's being factual. And I said it before the game started. Football Chat Uncensored, Reno talking.